Hi everyone, it's Sue. I'm back today with a little bit of a different video. So one of my goals for 2022 was to get back into my stitching a little bit. I'm a quilter as well, and I love doing hand stitching, English paper piecing, that sort of thing. And I didn't pick up a needle pretty much last year. I did for a little bit, probably a couple of hours, and that was totally it, and I really miss it. So that was one of my goals. That's what I had decided at the end of last year, that's what I wanted to do. And then Rachel and Sarah Roxburgh from Roxy Creations decided that they were starting this project, and it's called Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So I thought this is a perfect time to get started with my stitching. I'm pretty much caught up. I'm still finishing block 1, but that's okay. It's about slow stitching and just being mindful and just being in the moment and taking that relaxing time and enjoying the process. So that's what I'm doing. I've talked my mum into, well, I didn't take much talking into, but mum decided that she was going to do it. She hasn't done any stitching for about 25 years, and she is on a roll, let me tell you. She is way ahead of me, and she's done about 3 extra pages just off her own back. She's hanging out for the February prompt. So what I wanted to do today was just show you where I'm up to with my stitcheries. I also do have a little order that, an order that I found this new small business called Itchy Stitches, which is an amazing, cute little name, and I'll share that with you in a moment. So if I'll put the link down below for their website, so head on over and give them some love. They've got some beautiful of their own stitches, some beautiful colors, which are really, really affordable. And they also have, I think, DMC and bits and pieces of other things. So let me just show you where I'm up to anyway. I'll stop babbling. So this is going to be my cover. Now, I think that I'm possibly going to have to make my spine a little bit bigger. I'm not upset about that. I will work that out when we get to that. So I've just done myself a little template for the pages that I'm stitching on. So I'll just quickly show you my samplers to begin with. So that was the second sampler. Let me just make sure I'm in frame here. And that was my first one. So I have printed, I probably need to trim my turkey work down a little bit there. I have printed onto fabric the names of the stitches. I do know most of them, but I just thought it'll be good way to go back and, you know, if I do get stuck and think, well, what are they called? So I've done that way. So that is my sampler pages. Don't look at the back, it's very messy. I'm a lazy stitcher and I run my stitches. So this is my title page, and I've done a lot of French knots, which is my absolute favorite stitch. So you can see a lot of French knots in there. I'm not very good at grub roses. I'm pretty impressed with how they've come out, but I've got a little bit of practice to do with those. So with the bullion stitch, but I love how that turned out. So that's my 2 samplers and my title page. Now I'm still working on the first block, but I'll just show you where I'm up to with that. I've got some thread in there. I'm still working on it. Now it's got a lot of stitching. I didn't intend for it to be as heavily stitched as it is at the moment, but I'm enjoying it. So I have done a bit of layering with different fabrics. This is some antique lace that I've got here. This is some Tilda fabric, which is one of my most favorite Tilda fabrics. I've hand cut all the felt leaves here in different sizes and stitched them all on. You can see my favorite stitches again, the French knots. So I've added them, and I've started doing some, what do you call that? Stem stitch, is that what you call it? Hang on a second. It's gone out of my brain. Satin stitch, sorry, satin stitch. I've done some satin stitch. See how they come in handy? Some satin stitch here just to start filling in some highlights, and I'm going to be doing more in these roses here. I'm just not up to that yet. I've trailed some vines down onto the ticking down here This isn't vintage lace, this is just lace that I have dyed, coffee dyed. My little bunny with a little bit of a turkey work cottontail there. You can see that. And I've done pistol stitch just for him to be sitting in the grass. I'm going to do a couple more smaller grub roses here somewhere, and then I've done a weeping cherry blossom coming down here with just white and a soft pink French knots, and I'm going to do the same. The weeping cherry blossom will come down here as well. Originally I was thinking of putting French knots across all these squares, and then I liked how this looked, so I've decided I'm going to do that up here. So that's my first block. It's a way off being finished, but as I said, I'm just really enjoying the process and taking the time out. I try and do a little bit on it every day, and I may do a little bit of it here today. If you're interested in seeing it, let me know below if you are wanting to see how I'm progressing further with these. I'm happy to share, as I have shared my slow stitching that I've done before, and as I said, I've just lost the plot with it, and I've always got something else that I think is more important, but I need to take that time out for myself. Okay, so I might do a little bit more of work on that in a minute. I just wanted to, I haven't even looked at this package yet. I've cut it open so that we can look at it together. And I'll just show you. So this is from Itchy Stitchy, which is absolutely, I love that name. So because you're itching to stitch. So, and these are their own threads. So I'll show you those in a moment. I did grab myself, because I don't have one, a magnetic needle case. I'd like to make myself a fabric needle case, and I will do that at some stage, but I'll just show you this one. I wanted the pink ones, but they were out of stock, so I've just got some thread in this, but I'll just show you. But your needles magnetize to that so that you've got them there all the time. So teal is my next favorite color, which is probably more of a green, but so that's what I went with. So I got one of those, and then I've got 4 of these teal cases, and they're to put some threads in. So I thought I might try and keep Steph's threads separate to the other ones. And so your skeins of thread can go in here, and I guess your needles and all that sort of thing can go in here. Now when I stitch, I love these thimble pads. They're real leather. I can't wear a thimble because it just gets in my way. So I use these thimble pads and just stick it here, because you can see, I don't know whether you can see, so many times I forget to put it on and I've just dug the needle right into my finger. So it just saves your finger, because it hurts after a while. So I love using those. I will try and remember to put a link down to where I purchased mine from. Okay, so that's what I got these for, to keep the Itchy Stitchy threads in. So I'll just put those to the side, and we'll open the fun part. These aren't all the colors that Steph and I think Angela have, but I just got a few colors that I really enjoy and thought that I would use. So I actually don't have any of the ecru color. I'm not sure what they are. You'd have to have a look on the website, and as I said, I will share their website down below. So NE03, sorry, but it's more of a creamy ecru color. So I got a few natural tones, because I don't have these in DMCs. I got some grays and, you know, different shades of gray. I don't know whether you can see that on the back of with the wool mat on the back, but I wanted to just get some neutral colors. Actually, no, this one's probably more ecru, this one here. Yeah, but head over to the website and have a look, because they've got some beautiful threads. These were so cheap. They were having a sale at the time, but cheap just the same when they're not on sale. So these are just some of the colours that I got. Pink and teal, as you can see, are my favourite colours. Some browns, beautiful lavender, some greens. I love variegated thread, and I'm finding that I'm using in my stitcheries, mainly I'm using the cottage garden threads, and their variegation is really close together, so you get to see all the different colours more often than you do with DMC variegated thread. So they're my main thread that I'm using, but I wanted some plains in there as well. I also do have a few DMC Pearl 8 that I'm using as well, and I don't have many of those, I just have a few of those, and that's a variegated one there, so that's Pearl 8 that I'm using as well. But yeah, definitely head over to Itchy Stitchy and have a look. These feel really lovely. I haven't stitched with them yet, and I'll be honest when I do stitch with them if I like them or not, but I am pretty impressed so far. Wow, so many beautiful colors. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the colors that they have. They also have, you can buy like a whole set of all their colors, which is really quite reasonable. Now, don't quote me, but I think these are around about 75 cents a skein, which is amazing price. And as I said, I will put the details down below. All right, so I might just do a little bit of stitching. I don't know, as I said, if you're really interested in seeing me do that. I might even just fasten the video up a little bit. But let me know if you're interested in seeing how I go about making my blocks. If you're interested in seeing me stitch, I'd be interested to know. So all right, I'm just going to head off, and I'm just going to do a little bit of stitching, possibly not much for the moment, because if it's not something that you're interested in looking at, I really don't want to waste your time. So I will just head off, do a little bit of stitching. I'll fasten the video up, and as I said, I'm not an expert at stitching. I'm pretty much self-taught. Years ago, I don't do anything probably the perfect way, the way that it should be done, but for my way of thinking, stitching is about enjoying the process and just being in the moment. I just find that I just switch off from all my stresses and worries when I'm stitching, which is what I love. It's just so nice just to be able to have something to concentrate on and not have to worry about all your general worries. Okay, so I'm just doing a back stitch here, and then I'm going to do some of these French knots using the Pearl 8 cotton. With my French knots, I just am very random. I don't think too much about where I'm putting them, and I'm just doing this vine pretty much willy-nilly, just so that it's going to drape down a little bit here. And you can see with the back stitch, I am just making the stem of my weeping cherry blossom. It's going all over the place. All right, well, I will just head off, do a little bit of stitching, and I will just show you maybe the block at the end after I've done a little bit. Okay, so I have just basically done one length of the white pearl 8 and the pink pearl 8, just to show you just how I do the French knots. Now I just do them really randomly, and you would have noticed the white you can hardly see on this vintage lace until you bring in the pink, and then it makes it pop a little bit more. I will add some more green stems over here, so this will all be filled with the weeping cherry blossom eventually. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you today. But yeah, I really would be interested to know if that's something that you would like to see more of. I really enjoy doing this stitching, and I'm keen to get in and use these beautiful threads from Itchy Stitchy. All right, I'm going to head off. I'm actually going to head off and do a little bit more on it. So when does it come up? The Tuesday is the next prompt, so I'd like to try and be close to finishing my week 1 block. This probably will go up after the 1st of February, but I'll just see how I go. But that's where I'm up to at the moment. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creating time in. See you soon.